All right, fam, today's cooking tutorial is cheeseburger pasta. Yeah, so what we're doing is we're actually taking my recipe here and I'm going to make it faster and cheesier. Super simple ingredients, and we're going to start off with the beef here. I'm using an extra lean ground beef only because I am adding cheese to this babe. I am using an aged cheddar because that does have a lower amount of lactose, so great for my lactose intolerant friends. I've got a chickpea pasta here. Almond milk, which you can actually substitute for bone broth as well. Standard onion. This is just cassava flour, which you can also use an all-purpose gluten-free flour. This is going to be a thickening agent, some tomato sauce, and Worcestershire. This is my condiment hack. Why? Because it brings a savory note and a more tangy note to your dish without having all of the spices. We've got a somewhat deep nonstick skillet. I've added 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and in go the onions. Next comes the ground beef. Break those big pieces apart, and you want to cook this until the meat has fully browned and those onions have become translucent. Meat has fully browned and those onions are translucent. Please take note that if you are using a fattier cut of meat, you will likely have to drain some of that liquid because some of it is going to be fat. This is just liquid. Those are the good juices we want to keep in there. So next up, we're going to be adding about a cup of our tomato sauce. Yum. Then we're going to go for about a tablespoon of our Worcestershire. Can you see that? Worcestershire, yeah. So I don't want to go too heavy-handed, but that's about nice. Yep. And then we're going to go for our almond milk. Super careful, guys. No splashing. And remember, the substitute for this can be bone broth. And lastly is our thickening agent, which we're using cassava flour. This is the first time I'm actually using cassava flour, so I'm kind of experimenting with you watching me. And then you want to give that a good stir. And if you have a top, you are going to want to just cover this. If not, no worries. I actually don't have a lid that covers this one because this is a new pot. Anyways, so you're going to mix that super well, and we want to let that thicken up as we also add in the pasta. You're going to see I've got different types of chickpea pasta in there, and it's just simply because sometimes I don't use a whole box, so I end up buying more, and so I am just consolidating here and just using all of my noodles here. All right, so I'm going to make sure that all of my noodles are covered in this sauce, and I want to bring this sauce to a boil, and that'll ensure that my noodles will be fully cooked. So my pasta is coming to a boil. However, I don't think I have enough liquid, so what am I going to do? I'm just going to add a tad bit more water. That's all. Now I'm going to cover it. I actually found this old school Rachel Ray silicone lid. It barely fits, but I think we're good. So I'm gonna cover that up, and every few minutes I'm gonna give that a stir. So that should take about, we'll see, 10 to 12 minutes maybe. And make sure you turn that temp down to about low to medium. We are ready for our final step. I'd say that cassava flour worked beautifully. Do you see how thick that is? Oh yeah. Okay, so what's the final step? Cheese, baby. All right, this is about 4 ounces of that aged cheddar. And I also have turned off the heat. So we're just going to gently, again, mix that in and let that melt over the pasta. And guys, that's it. Easy peasy. Hamburger Helper, easy. Wait, I said easy. Whoops. You know what I mean.